In this video, we will see the concepts and procedure to conduct the V and inverted V curves of a synchronous motor experiment. I am Surya from EEE Department, Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai. Before going to the experiment, let us discuss some concepts behind V and inverted V curves of a synchronous motor. For a constant input power applied, the change in field excitation will not affect the speed of the motor or output power of the motor. That is, if we vary the field current of the synchronous motor, the motor speed will not change, that it will remain at a constant speed which is equal to synchronous speed, and the output power of the motor will also not change. But if we vary the field excitation, the armature current will change and power factor will change. We all know input power is equal to root 3 VL IL cos phi for a three-phase system. Here, as I already mentioned, input power is constant, root 3 is constant, VL will also remain constant. The two parameters that will change in this system is IL and cos phi. As you can see, these two are inversely proportional. When IL is increased, power factor will decrease and vice versa. This is the V curve of the synchronous motor at different loads. As you can see, this is the no load V curve and this is the full load V curve. For operating a synchronous motor at a constant voltage, a particular constant flux is needed in the air gap. Synchronous motor is a double excited machine. Synchronous motors are excited by DC source as well as the AC source. The flux due to DC as well as the AC source cooperate in establishing the required flux. When the field current is very low, the flux produced is weak and the flux needs to be strengthened. So the stator draws a current lagging behind supply voltage to produce the required flux. So at this time the power factor of this circuit is lagging. When the field current is further increased such that the power factor is unity, the DC field circuit supplies all the current required to produce the necessary flux in the air gap. At this time, the stator will not draw any excess current for producing excess flux. So stator draws minimum current. At this time, as I already mentioned, power factor is unity. Then, if we increase the field current further, the DC field will become stronger and the stator needs to draw leading current to demagnetize the excess field. So the power factor is leading. When the armature current is minimum and power factor is unity, the corresponding field current is known as the normal field current for the particular load. For example, let us consider this no load V curve. In this V curve, this point corresponds to the normal field current. This normal field current will increase as the load increases. In this graph, the central axis shifts to the right as the load increases. In this graph, inverted V curve is not shown, but you have to note that when the inverted V curve and V curve will have same central axis, that is, when the armature current is minimum, at that time power factor will become maximum. Now I will demonstrate how to obtain V and inverted V curves of a synchronous motor in this virtual laboratory. This is the circuit necessary to perform this experiment. This is a three-phase power supply. This is the TPST switch or triple pole single throw switch. This is the variac, three-phase variac or three-phase auto transformer. It is to adjust the voltage applied to the synchronous motor. This is the digital power factor meter to measure power factor in the circuit. This is the three-phase synchronous motor. The RYB denotes the stator windings of the three-phase synchronous motor. XX denotes the field winding of the synchronous motor. This is a tachometer. It will measure the speed of the rotor. And this is the field excitation system. This is a DC power supply, DPST switch, and a field rheostat. This field rheostat is used to adjust the field current of the synchronous motor. This is the DC shunt generator. It will act as the mechanical load to the synchronous motor. This is a resistive network. When we add loads to this DC shunt generator by connecting these resistive loads to the DC shunt generator, the DC shunt generator will load the synchronous motor. The ratings of the synchronous motor as well as the mechanical load, that is the DC shunt generator, are given here. This is a 4-pole synchronous motor. Its rated voltage is 415 volt and its rated speed is 1500 rpm. Its winding is delta connected, and this shunt generator is capable of running at a speed between 1500 to 2000 rpm, and its maximum armature voltage is 440 volt. Before starting the experiment, let us discuss the precautions. The DPST and TPST switches must be open. The variac should be at its initial position. The field rheostat should be at its maximum resistance position, and no load should be connected to this DC shunt generator. Now let us begin with the experiment. Close the TPST switch. Adjust the variac gradually to increase the voltage applied to the synchronous motor to its rated voltage. The rated voltage is 415 volt. It is the line to line voltage. So let us increase the voltage to 415 volt gradually. Now the motor is running at its speed, which is near to synchronous speed. As we know, synchronous speed is equal to 120 f by p. Here frequency is 50 Hz and number of poles is equal to 4. Hence the synchronous speed is 120 into 50 divided by 4, which is equal to 1500 rpm. Now let us close the DPST switch to give supply to the field circuit. As soon as we circulate a field current, the synchronous motor will run at its synchronous speed. Now, initially the line current of the synchronous motor is nearly 5 ampere and power factor is nearly 0. As we vary the field current, the line current of the synchronous motor as well as the power factor varies. By varying the field current, line current will decrease to nearly 0 and again increases. This is the V curve. The power factor is now nearly 0. As the field current is increased further, power factor will increase to a maximum value and then gradually decreases to 0. This is the inverted V curve. As we can see, well, the power factor is increasing and the line current is decreasing. At some point the power factor will become maximum, as you can see now, and the line current will become minimum. Further, if we increase the field current, power factor will start to reduce and line current will start increasing. Hence, if we plot the graph between field current and power factor, it will be a inverted V curve, while if we plot a graph between field current and line current, it will be a V curve. Note down the values of field current, line current and power factor. Take 10 to 15 readings to plot the V and inverted V curves. After taking down the readings, gradually decrease the voltage applied to the synchronous motor by adjusting the variac. Also return the field rheostat to its initial position, which is maximum resistance position. Now connect resistive loads to the DC shunt generator. Now the DC shunt generator is loaded by this resistive circuit, while the this DC shunt generator will load this synchronous motor mechanically. Now again repeat the same experiment we did earlier uh, to plot the V and inverted V characteristics of the synchronous motor at loaded condition. First we did the same experiment. We plotted V and inverted V graph for synchronous motor at no load condition. Now we are doing it for loaded condition. Again take down the field current, line current and power factor at loaded conditions. Then plot the V and inverted V graphs in the same graph sheet. This is the V and inverted V curve experiment. Thank you. I have plotted the V and inverted V curves of the synchronous motor at no load condition and loaded condition in the same graph sheet using MATLAB. The solid lines indicate the V and inverted V curves of a synchronous motor at no load, while the dotted lines indicate the V and inverted V curves of this synchronous motor at loaded condition. From this graph, it is clear that when armature current is minimum, the power factor is maximum, that is unity, near to 1. This is same for both no load and loaded conditions. This is the V and inverted V curve experiment.